Hey everyone, it's Gianti's Kitchen here. Welcome. I've got here stewing chicken and fish, which has been prepped to be used in stews, that is Nigerian stews. It is well seasoned and spiced, moist, and the oven time is drastically reduced. So let's go into it. Please make enough as some of it may not get into the stew. I've got here the cleaned chicken and fish, washed and cleaned, and allowing it to drain. There's a bowl underneath both, so the sink does not smell like chicken and fish, particularly fish. These are the spices I'm going to use for the stewing chicken and the fish. There are slight differences for the fish. The first difference is in the quantity of the garlic, ginger, and pepper. The small quantity amount for the fish. There's something about fish that you do not use a lot of pepper. And then this is for the chicken. There is a lot of ginger, garlic, and pepper. And I'm also going to use Cameroon pepper. You can try that with fish. It's going to have a lot of it if you use that. So that's the differences. And for this, I also have the seasoning cube, which I'm going to use. And then both has salt and time to season the meat. I'll start with the chicken. I'll pour in the spices and the seasoning for the chicken inside it, and then I'm going to add some onions to it, some chopped onions. If you like, you can blend the onions. Do the same for the fish. I'm going to mix in the seasoning and the spices to both the chicken and the fish. You could use a plastic sealable bag to do this, and you shake it together instead of shaking like this. Going to use a cling fling to marinate it for something like 30 minutes to overnight, 30 minutes, 1 hour, so it's all ready to be put in the fridge. About an hour later, to a hot pot on the stove, I'm going to pour in the marinated chicken. This is to sear it so that it retains the juices and the spices, since I'm still going to cook it. So I'm going to keep on turning it so everything gets brown and the spices take to. Add water to it, allow it to cook, not too much water. While the chicken cooks, come back to the fish, which has been marinating for longer, obviously, a longer time. I've got a non-stick pan, frying pan on the stove. So I'm going to put in the pieces of fish. You could use a skillet. What I'm trying to do is to seal in the spices and the onion into the fish so that it goes inside. I'm going to pour in the remaining marinade. You want to lock in all that flavor. Minutes later, the spices are sticking to the fish. I'll continue to turn it so that everything gets all nice and brown. This takes a long time, but it is well flavored and moist. The spices are sealed in. I'm going to add liquid to it. This is the rinse out marinate. You could use meat stock if you have it, or water will just do. Use a little bit of water, shake it up, cover it, and allow it to cook for a few minutes. few minutes later, when the liquid is almost dried, so I'm going to turn it to the other side. You might be wondering why, since I'm going to put it in the oven, why don't I put it in the oven directly? With this method, it releases the juices and the spices stick on it, and of course it reduces the time in the oven. It's a little bit moist, and this is an oily fish, so by the time it gets into the oven we will not have dry out fish. On with the pre-cooking, let's go put it in the oven. Oil the baking sheets. I tried using aluminium, stuck to it, so I'm going to use this. You could use oil spray, it's all good. And after I've arranged it, I'm going to put it in the oven to get done. The chicken is done, not quite done. Bring it out, oil the baking tray. Put the boiled chicken on the baking tray. I'm going to go with oil to get that gloss that you get from fried chicken, but this is not fried. It goes into the oven till it's golden brown. A couple of minutes later, I'm going to flip it to the other side so it gets done. The same thing I'm going to do for the fish as well. Our chicken is done. See the fried look, but with less oil, moist as well. And as for the fish, it is done too. Can you imagine the fish inside stew? It will be so tasty. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.